Today I'm going to be bringing you my New World Aeternum daily checklist. These are things that you can do every single day in New World Aeternum to maximise your gold and your experience and get the most out of anything that resets daily here in New World. If you enjoyed this video, please do drop me a like and a subscribe down below. And without further ado, let's jump into this. So first and foremost, if you go up to the activities tab here, you will see that there is an abundance of things to do. But the main thing that you want to focus on when you hit level 65 and you're getting up towards that 700 plus gear score is these random mutations. Now, as you can see, every single day you get this in the top left, which is the daily bonus. This one will give you bonus rewards when you complete them for the first time each day, and that will give you a little cache which contains faction tokens and gold. On the same vein as this, you can also enter a random expedition per day. Now, bear in mind that these can be the level 25 Amrines or Starstone Barrows at 35, Depths, Dynasty, all under level 60. Of course, they will be easier, and I assume that the idea behind this is to help people who are still leveling and questing to be able to do these dungeons a lot easier and find a group faster. But again, you will get an expedition bonus cache from this one. This one is only 125 coins and 2500 faction tokens, but it is a little bit of extra that you can get on top of your random mutator ones, and these ones actually drop you 150 coins and 10,000 faction tokens. Now, of course, with the mutations as well, once you complete them, you do get the cash for completing it itself, and that can be about 1,000 coins. And you also get some dark matter there. So this is probably the best way to go for most level 65 players, but it's worth noting that you can get a little bit of extra money for some quick runs on the regular dungeons as well. Now, whatever faction you're in, if you head up to the representative for that faction, every single day you will see here at the top, daily bonuses available, 3 of 3. So you get 3 bonus missions per day, and I would obviously recommend doing these at the highest level that you can do, so, you know, that endgame expeditions, if you've got the quest for those, or the PvP ones, if that's more your style. But of course, I'm just showing you here in Windswood. What you'll see is for these rewards, you will get a lot of tokens. You get 165 coins, so obviously this is pretty good, especially if you actually combine these with the daily runs that you're doing for the mutations or regular dungeons as well, if you are lucky enough to get the expedition quests. And then you can also get a load of territory standing from these as well, which is an extra bonus. And you definitely want to be doing each of these 3 per day because, of course, it will help you to level up as well in your faction. But that gold is really the bonus that we are looking for here. Additionally to this, once you do level up a little bit, as you can see here on the fresh starts, I'm slacking slightly on this. But basically, if you go into the shop for whichever faction you're in, and you'll see this little egg timer in the bottom left of the picture for these means that they are on daily lockout. Now, not all of these are worth getting. It depends what you want. If you want some grand logging cash, where this says take the unusual resins to a workshop and then research them for logging experience, it'll basically help you to level up this gathering skill, and there's one for each of these here. So you can do this, but it does cost you 300 coins as well as 8,000 tokens. So it's up to you with those ones. But what I would certainly recommend doing is going down here and grabbing the Gypsum orbs. This is just at the cost of tokens. And of course, you can get some of these specialised materials, and these ones contain things like craft mods, epic tier 5 hides, or fibers, or whatever it is, or you can get the harvester's clothing pattern from these. Again, be aware these are 5,000 gold each, so this is probably something to do only when you're at endgame and you're making a lot of money, but it's worth knowing about. And on top of that, of course, you have got things like the chromatic seals and the Azoth inductors. These ones are very hefty on the price for gold, but they are on that cooldown for purchasing once per day or once per week, so make sure you're getting those if you are at the stage where you're needing to get them and you've got the cash to do so. Now, if we just open up the recruitment chat here on my server, you will see tons of plus different things going on, plus wall, plus cast, plus CK. All of these are different chest runs in the elite zones that are going on, and these are great for getting materials, refining reagents, trophy components, all of that stuff that you'll either need or will be able to sell. It's also very good for weapon leveling, and if it's not a huge group of players, you're actually able to get the tags on mobs, so that'll get you even more weapon XP. A good sort of general rule of thumb is the level 60 plus zones, or level 65 plus zones. It's generally in the areas that are having these little red symbols, which are the elite strongholds or elite areas. So you'll see here Heliopolis, this is where people run. You've also got the wall over here, which is the West Wall Nebet Het. So this one, again, you can see is symbolised by this red icon on the map. And they're generally run in all of these locations. So if we go up to Shattered Mountain, this one is the Merkgard run. You've got the mines doubloons run over here. And when you see people putting plus in the chat, it's worth joining some of these runs and going and doing them. You will get a load of good stuff that you can sell or just make money from in general, and you will need the reagents if you are planning to do refining as well. Cutlass keys is by far the most important one with this update, because all of this elite zone you can get a lot of mystic doubloons from, which is really important for getting those chests, and we're going to come on to that in just a moment's time. But you can also get it from anywhere in this zone. It doesn't have to be the PvP area. Obviously, the PvP area gives you a little bit more, but when people are doing plus Cutlass keys, it's this run down here of all of these elite areas. So definitely join this one up. Some good loot, because it's now a high level zone, level 68 mobs. And on top of that, you're obviously getting those doubloons like I mentioned, and those are super important. Alright, so when you go into Cutlass keys, if you look on the map, you can see here something called the Well of Fortune. What you want to do is go over to this, and with the doubloons that you're going to be getting from these elite runs and other things that you're doing in the area, you will actually see you can do different things like getting these caches here for potential 710. You can get the weapons, which you can actually choose, and those ones automatically come at 710 with the perks specified, or with a gold curse coconut and quite a lot of doubloons, so 1800 here for a weapon, you get a 725 gear score. So you can use your doubloons towards that. But the main thing that you're going to be doing on a daily reset here is these things again with the egg timers, and it's going to be this one right here, the gold cursed epic crate. These can drop up to 725 gear, but they can also drop you crafting materials. They only cost 35 each, and you can do 3 of these per day, so you want to make sure you are getting those. Additionally to this, you can get things like the resource crates if you want to. Of course, you can see here, these open and acquire either 20 runewood, 20 mithril ore, 20 darkhide, or 20 spin fiber. And to be perfectly honest, this one is probably the best for this per day. You can do 2 of these, and they only cost 5 mystic doubloons, and it's timber, iron ingot, coarse leather, and linen. So these are super helpful to grab as well. And the other thing that I generally like to grab is this down here, the Gypsum Orb Exchange. 10 Mystic Doubloons for 5 Gypsum Orbs is a really good deal. You definitely want to be grabbing these. You can also have a look at all of this other stuff that's in here on the daily lockouts, and if it's something that you need, so for example, the Honing Stone here, you can grab a Honing Stone. Getting 5 of these each day for 10 doubloons is pretty good. So you can have a look through, see what you need to get, and Mystic Doubloons, you're probably going to get about 300 to 400 when you're doing the Elite run in Cutlass Keys every day without even touching the PvP Elite Zone, so it is certainly worth looking into doing these as well. Make sure you grab your Glittering Golden Key. This technically isn't a weekly lockout video, which I'm going to be doing in the near future, but just while we're on the subject of this, grab this and you are able to get chests outside of the PvP Elite Zone, but you need to go right next to it. Again, I'll cover that in an upcoming video in full, but just so you know that it's there as a little extra tidbit for you there. Now, when you actually level up one of your refining skills to level 200 or level 250, as you will see here in the bottom left, Phoenix Weave unlocks at level 200 if you're on the weaving one. Of course, there is an equivalent for every single refining, so you've got all of those lockouts there at 200 for each of the refining, and then at 250 you get the prismatic unlocks as well, and that's for each of the refining trade skills too. When you do get to these levels and these thresholds, so 200 and 250, make sure you are doing these. You can only craft 10 of them per day. Now, obviously, that doesn't take into account bonuses if you've got things like the set, or you get lucky, so you may get 11, 12, or even 13, 14, 15 of these if you get a super lucky pull, but the actual physical craft limit is 10 per day, so make sure you're doing these every single day once you have these unlocked, so that you can start to stockpile them, as you will need a lot of them if you are planning to do endgame crafting, or you can sell them for a good amount of gold. So the next thing that we're going to be talking about here is the Brimstone Sands chests. Now, these don't even have to be the Elite Zone ones, they can just be random chests around the map, and actually when you get near to them it shows you a symbol on the map here. This is a really good one that I like to get every single day because it's super easy. You go up to it, you do of course need to have the glyphs unlocked for this to be able to get the chests, but this is an elite ancient chest, and it is right next to this Candle's Rest fast travel point, which if I zoom out on the map is right in the top middle of Brimstone Sands, and as you can see there, I can get that again in 10 hours 50. Now, that is the same for all elite chests in Brimstone Sands, but like this one here, there is quite a few that are easy to get solo. There's literally no mobs to kill, you just run over from the teleport, grab that and go. So make sure you get in all of those as you find them and unlock them, and that is going to get you something you can get every single day for a chance at getting things like your golden scarabs and other items such as your trophy materials that are going to be super useful to collect every single day that you can. Next, if we jump back to the activities tab, of course, you've got your 3v3 and your outpost rush. Now, these are not limited daily, but I would recommend doing them a couple of times each per day if you are trying to level up your PvP reward track, as they will, of course, gradually build up over time, especially if you're looking for some of those artifacts that are going to be down there. So that's not necessarily a daily lockout, more of a daily recommendation. If this is something you want or need to do, then definitely go ahead and do this. Further on the activities tab here, you have your daily soul trials. Now, these get refreshed every single day for 3 new ones, and it's essentially a 1v1 boss fight. They're not too difficult, and they have some decent drops. You can see you can get like the power stone, which is the artifact here. You also get some dark matter from it. Nothing amazing. Get a bag of coins there as well. Nothing too good in terms of gear score, but if it's something that you're interested in and you enjoy boss fight content, it's certainly worth knowing that it's available every single day, brand new ones to try out. With this as well, I know this is strictly a weekly lockout, but if you have a look here in the Trial of the Devourer, you do have a weekly, like I said there, but you also have a daily reward that you can do. If you are on Fresh Start, it's highly unlikely that there's many groups running this right now, but as we get further into the season, or if you are on a legacy server, this is of course going to be something you can run daily for that dark matter and the gypsum orbs being the main things there, and then of course the weekly rewards are the much better ones. Again, I'll cover this in a future video though. Next, if we head over to the map and look at the conflicts tab, you can see here on the left side of the screen, you'll see each of the upcoming wars, each of the upcoming faction races, and of course it's not yet on the Fresh Start servers, but once they do become available, you'll see invasions on here as well. So, for example, you can see that there is a war here at Fort Brightwood. It's going to be 7 PM to 7:30 PM CEST on my server. So if I wanted to get involved in this one, of course, you can go over, head up to the tab here by clicking on the settlement and then sign up for the war. You've obviously got to choose your colour if your colour's fighting, but if it's the 2 opposite factions to you, you can choose either team. And of course, you've got to be picked, but it's worth knowing that these come up every single day. More so, though, for the influence races, which you can join in with at any point that you want to, and you can just get involved to get some PvP XP from these as well. They're pretty good fun, and there's a lot of players there fighting each other, so this can be a great activity if you enjoy PvP. The next thing here is going to be your gypsums, like you can see here, garnet gypsum or your ruby gypsum. You can take any of these to the gypsum kiln when you have the required amount, and you can swap these for gypsum orbs. You get all of these a certain amount daily, so for example, the OPR one you can get a couple of times daily, the arena one you can get 3 times daily, so you can get enough each day to craft a full gypsum orb out of each specific gypsum. If you want to check what they are and how much you need, you head over to any gypsum kiln and it will tell you the information, and you can go ahead and craft these. Gypsum orbs now are needed for things like crafting, so they are still worth getting, especially if you're someone that's played the game a long time ago and used to use them for bumping up your gear score. It's no longer that, but you do need them for a lot of end game crafts, so it is definitely worth getting these where you can as well. I wouldn't necessarily go massively out your way for them, but certainly stock them up if it's something that you're doing anyway. Following on from that then is going to be the corrupted portals. These ones do give you gypsum, but of course they also give you the lodestone materials, so on the map you want to be clearing these corrupted portals, all of these things. Now, if you are level 65, of course you want to do these in the endgame zones, so places like Shattered Mountains, you can see there's a ton there. Brimstone Sands, there's a ton there. Ebonskill Reach is another good one, quite a few of them here, so you can get all of those. Reekwater, again, you can get a load of these, and they're near the teleports, so you want to go and clear those, and the reason for that is the corrupted lodestones. Those are needed to upgrade most of the heart runes. Here you can see I've got mine up to the 3rd tier, but to upgrade these you are going to need corrupted lodestones, and they do cost a lot. From all accounts I can see on most servers, people are saying that they cost a fair amount. Here on my Fresh Start server, I'm on Draco on EU, and you can see these are about 400. Yesterday these were about 600, so they are quite expensive. For right now, I would certainly recommend just going and clearing the portals and actually crafting these up yourself, which you can do on the stone cutting table, because that is going to save you quite a lot of money. Now, like I've mentioned a couple of times during this video, I am going to make a weekly checklist video too, but just to give you a little cheeky extra bonus tip, if you are still here at the end of this video, you want to go onto the raids tab and you want to do the Hive of the Gorgons. Now, of course, this is a weekly lockout for the rewards, but you can do it a few times a week for the drops. So the Eye of the Gorgon is a weekly lockout, which I'll talk about more when I do that video, but the things that you can get here, the gear that drops up to 725, you can actually get multiple times. I've heard from a lot of people they've done this 2, 3, 4 times a week when they've managed to get through the first or second boss, or even all three, and they've got drops from all of them. Even though they can't get the Gorgon's Eye, they're still getting the gear. So if you are able to clear this, especially if you're on fresh start and you haven't got much 725 gear yet, this is going to be a really, really good thing to do. It's not strictly necessary to do daily, but you can do it daily if you want to, so it's a little sneaky extra one there for you. So that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, leave me a like and a subscribe down below, as well as drop me a comment on what your favourite things to do daily are, or if you think I've missed anything that you should be doing daily in New World Aeternum, drop that down below in the comments as well. Other than that, I'll catch you again in the next video. So thanks for watching, take care, and peace.